Hey YouTube, Shuriken Shinobi here with a review of the S.H.Figuarts Origami Cyclone from Tiger and Bunny. Ivan Karelin, I'm going to go with that pronunciation because that's what rolls off my tongue. So here he is, a quick look at the box. It's pretty much a typical Tiger and Bunny box with Ivan and Origami Cyclone. The Master of Appearances, Origami Cyclone. Ninja Action, product placement. I just did a huge report on that. Fun stuff like that. So, here is the figure. He is actually fairly tall. Let me grab a Tiger to compare. So here he is next to Rock Bison, and he's almost the same height. I'd say Rock Bison's maybe about half an inch taller or so, but that's mostly because of the horns. So they're pretty close in height. And here he is with Tiger. And you can see that Tiger's pretty short compared to him. I'm not entirely sure about the scaling in terms of the show, but a lot of his height's contributed by these giant heels right here. So, I mean, that gives him a lot of his height, but the body in general just kind of seems a little bit misproportioned compared to Wild Tiger, but maybe I'm just delusional. I'm not entirely sure. Just my opinion. But articulation-wise, nothing is particularly hindered. The shoulder pad is part of the shoulder right here, connected by a ball joint, so it's not hindering the shoulder articulation whatsoever. Lots of movement in the head. Despite his big helmet, it's not particularly hindered. He can't really look up, but probably wouldn't really need to, and he can bend his body back enough to look up-ish. Double joint there, double joint there. One thing I am pleased that they did was include two different joints to match the overall look of the figure. Double joint down here at the knee. Die-cast foot, so fans of the die-cast feet would be happy to know that they're die-cast. The shoulder pads flip up, so you can get a wide range of motion down here at the hips. There's a swivel right there as well. He's got these little belt things. I don't personally think they're belts, but they're little loopies. They're like Guitar's hair loopies, except they're Ivan's waist loopies. So those are there. He's got his little katana grips in the back attached right there. The giant shuriken, which we'll take a look at later. And all of his little markings. Live door. There's that clinic. The anime website, some Bandai, like cheer thing. He's got a bunch of really weird sponsors, but that's Ivan for you. Lots of weird sponsors for a pretty weird guy, but overall, pretty nice representation of Origami Cyclone. So accessory-wise, he comes with his big shuriken, an alternate version of it for him to hold. So that's always helpful. This is the back piece that holds the shuriken. So when he's holding the shuriken, you replace it with this piece. So it is all nice and accurate and such. A little tiny shuriken that I'm having trouble picking up. Firm to hold right here. And two blades for the katana, which I will show in a second. Hand-wise, he comes with two hands that can hold the giant shurikens. He has a padded inside glove section of his hand, I guess, and that's why it's colored really weird. Same thing over here. And then these hands right here hold the katana pieces. So he has shuriken holding hands and katana holding hands. For the katana, you just pop these pieces right off the sheath. Or holders, rather. I guess they're not really sheaths. And these just plug right in to make the katana, make sure they're straight. So same thing over here on this one. Again, make sure they're straight and just line them up. And there you go. So those are the katanas. Just take the katana holding hand and, like typical American action figures, just slide it right into the palm. For the shuriken holding hands, It's a little bit more difficult, and he does actually hold it from the blade, which is kind of dangerous, I think. But you kind of have to wedge it in there, like so. So he holds it fairly secure. You just have to make sure it's wedged into the fingers. It might create a nick into the mold, but that should actually keep it fairly secure. So just like that. So I'm actually not entirely sure how to have him hold anything. We'll try to figure that out. And you can use these hands to hold the shuriken as well, the katana holding hands. The hands that come with him obviously are just normal punchy hands. They are elongated. This is a fairly new hand mold, and the joint is a little bit different than normal. It's just a tinge bit smaller because of how small his hands are. It's kind of got my hands, where they're really tiny. So keep that in mind. The joint's pretty much the same, just the hair is very little. Naturally, like all the other Tiger and Bunny Figuarts, he does come with a Tamashii Stage Origami Cyclone Ivan Karelin with the Helperidese Finance. Helperidese? I'm not entirely sure. It kind of looks like the Hilton logo. But, yep, stand, done in a nice light blue color. So let's try to pose him up. I feel like using the giant shuriken, just because that seems Origami Cyclone. So pop this off. This is all one giant piece. Like I said before, just replace it with the little hook piece. Just like that. You can leave these on here if you want. These do pop right off. I'm just going to go ahead and leave them right on there, the sword sheaths. In fact, he should get his sword sheaths back if we're going to do it like this. We'll do something like that because he's ready to throw the shuriken at your face, and if he misses somehow with that giant thing, he's going to slice your head off with the sword. So he's got all his bases covered. Okay, Origami Cyclone is actually a very pleasantly awesome figure. I really wasn't expecting too much given how humanoid he is compared to the other three that they've released, which were two robotic guys. A humanoid guy that just doesn't really have any skin tones, and then a giant iron dude. So I was a little skeptical of this one at first, but they engineered his hands well enough to where they still look human. And the skin tones don't discourage the figure any. And the cloth patterns are done really well. His armor patterns are done really well. Little belt loop things work absolutely fantastic. So I really have no problems with this figure other than the slight over proportions compared to Sky High and Wild Tiger and stuff. He's just a tinge too big, I think. Unless it's supposed to be scaled like that in the show and I'm just wrong. That's always a possibility. But that's just how I feel when I stack him next to the others. He just feels a little bit too big. But scaling aside, the details are awesome, the paint's awesome, the articulation's great, the accessory counts work really well. I'm glad he's able to actually hold that thing properly. And all in all, it's a pretty nice figure. If you're a fan of Ivan, then definitely pick this up. He's pretty easy to find on eBay and Mondrake and places like that. In fact, he's pretty easy to find anywhere, really. But eBay's got some pretty nice prices. So, be sure to go ahead and pick him up if you're a fan of Origami Cyclone or want to collect all the Tiger and Bunny guys. This guy does not actually disappoint. Like I said, I was really skeptical, but he definitely hit the mark. It's hard to not hit the mark with a giant shuriken. But anyway, you can check out shurikenshobi.com for updates on my reviews and hauls, and of course, check out Riders, Rangers, and Rebels.com for the latest token news in the craziest way possible. So take care and have a great one.